How do you do, Jane Addams? I wanted to say that I'm your biggest fan.
Wow, are you really? It's always nice to meet my fans nowadays. It seems like I have fewer and fewer every single day.
What's wrong, Jane? I could tell something was wrong when I walked in because you weren't looking very happy.
People just aren't reading my works about peace anymore, and the World War has just begun in Europe. I was making great progress with people because they were reading my books and understood the true definition of peace and prosperity.
What is your definition of peace and prosperity, Jane?
That the United States as a whole can remain very prosperous without joining any sort of war and supplying goods to our allies.
Don't get down on yourself about all that. I still believe in your idea of social philosophy.
Yeah, but unlike you, everyone is not a fanboy. People no longer understand the three major components of social philosophy: sympathetic knowledge, political progress, and pluralism.
Sometimes people tend to not understand the hard, abstract concepts. Try explaining your concepts, but make it easier for you and your audience to understand.
Alright, I'll give it a try. Sympathetic knowledge is the idea that humans can learn not by just facts, but first hand experience. I prefer learning through action and not just reading about it.
How do you learn from action?
Well, Tanner, at the Whole House, we sponsored many first hand experiences, such as clubs, dances, performances, and athletics. I believe sponsoring these activities help break down barriers between many people.
What happens to the people that can't break down those barriers, Jane?
Well, it's funny you ask. I believe in the perception of lateral progress. All people should have the same shot, not just a collective group of people.
So you're talking about a democracy.
Yes, indeed, my vision of lateral progress comes from a participatory democratic process. For instance, my support of labor unions truly represents lateral progress. I didn't support collective bargaining to benefit those fortunate enough to be in the unions. Instead, I thought about how to improve wages, hours, and working conditions.
How did you first come up with the idea of lateral progress?
At the Whole House, I saw many immigrants and African Americans not be able to get the shot they deserved in life. I was so fed up that I came up with the idea of lateral progress. Government figures should not be controlling people of America, only the democratic process.
While I support your vision of democracy, there's still one thing that's questionable. How does a democratic system work? So many different people with many different ideas.
Democracy welcomes diversity. Pluralism welcomes and includes everyone. I saw immigrants change the landscape of North America because I fought for immigrants' rights, while others were afraid to. Without immigrants, I believe America was starting to get static.
Static? What do you mean?
Yes, static. Cosmopolitan cities were the perfect examples of international peace. Neighbors set aside their differences to develop a healthy relationship and help one another survive a hectic urban life. Cultural diversity is so important in America's future. That's why I use these experiences in my pacifist arguments.
Wait, pacifist? Does that have something to do with the Pacific Ocean?
Ah, no. A pacifism is the thought that any violence is completely unjustifiable under any circumstances. I want a democracy to flourish and encourage others to keep changing America for the better.
Jane, your recent explanations have really helped me understand your philosophical thoughts, but I have an idea that would help your audience understand more clear. You did mention that you like changes.
Well, it depends. What's your idea?
Have you ever thought about creating an event to raise money or to protest against the war?
I have, but I don't think that would work. If people are reading my books, what makes you think that they would like to go to an event that doesn't support the war?
I think we should just take that chance. You took a chance earlier with the Whole House, didn't you? You had no idea whether it was going to be successful or not, and look at where it is now, thriving just because you took a simple chance.
I guess you're right about my whole house. There's not that much that we have to lose.
What kind of event would you like to run that could bring people together?
We can put together a protest where we walk with a group of injured soldiers that walk with broken legs or arms, amputated parts of the body, and bloody stains. This would represent all the bloodshed that this war is going to do on our fellow Americans and human life.
That would send a huge message to our president, especially if it got enough publicity for the news to cover it on the radio. Not only would Chicago know about it, but the whole country would hear the message.
If other cities hear about it, they can get involved with the protest as well by doing the same exact thing. If we have the leaders for it, we need to get this message out.
I can start by putting flyers everywhere in Chicago. Maybe I can get a hold of the radio station to get the message out better. We will need a date for this event.
Very good.
Well, Jane, I've got some flyers to spread around the city. I'll be very busy between now and Friday. Good to see you, and I hope it all works out.
Thank you for helping me, Tanner. Would you like an autograph?
An autograph? Of course!